This is WOMLP operating out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. Good evening, it's The Rocket Shop. I'm your host, Tom Proctor, and with me tonight, once again, hello, Honey and Soul.
Hello.
It's such a pleasure to have you all back in the studio again.
Great to be here.
I feel like I've seen all of you individually in either different makeup, markups, different kind of groups or solo, but when's the last time we had all three of you together here?
Never.
Never in this kind of format?
Yeah, not since a previous lifetime.
Oh, no way. Well, welcome, Honey and Soul, to Big Heavy World. As you know, we like kicking it off with a song. And so what are you going to kick it off with?
We're going to play Separate Her Heart. It's a single that we just released a few months ago. We're going to play a little stripped down version for you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Separate Her Heart by Honey and Soul there. A beautiful song to start us off with. And one from the new album, I believe. Is that right?
That's right.
So, I obviously now all recorded. It's about ready to go. I think I saw that it's getting launched a week on Friday. Is that correct?
On Friday.
On this Friday?
Yeah, in
this
2 days.
How are you guys feeling? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you sleeping at all? How the nerves? Are you stone cold stoic? You're absolutely fine with it.
I cried yesterday a lot. Completely broke down.
I can't believe it. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. We've been working on this album for 3 years, and the last 6 months have just been like so full on preparation, and like especially this last month has been just like cranking. So I kind of like, and we have our release show a week from Friday, so there's like stuff to do after as well, but it honestly, there's not a ton left to do. Like if we stopped doing what we're doing, the album's still going to come out. Like it's been sent to the places where it will emerge on Friday, whether we do anything else or not. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
My day job is political activist, and so I feel a lot like this. I feel when we're getting up to an election, and it's like you really can't do that much more at a certain point, but yet you still can't sit still. But tell us a little bit what goes into launching an album, because some people just let it go out. You know, people record it, they send it to a few friends, that's it. But it sounds like you guys have been putting in the hard graft, especially recently in the last 6 months. So what goes into putting out an album?
Well,
all up to Danny.
we were really intentional about how many singles we wanted to release ahead of time and what visuals would be paired with those singles, and really put the vision of the album, taking the sound that we spent so long creating and applying the sense of your eyes to pair with it. So we launched 2 music videos that were so much fun to make, and to do everything from directing it to conceiving it, directing it, picking the locations, the outfits, turning my barn into a disco glam fantasy.
That was your barn.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Very well with that.
And then, of course, getting the word out to everybody and all the people that we know and don't know, trying to just let everyone know what we're up to, so that they get a chance to get some of the music medicine that we're trying to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, fundraising. There's a whole business behind this, which is like, makes sense why there are whole businesses that do this.
Definitely.
But yeah, like I learned how to write a press release. Like we spent a few years like raising all the money we needed, almost all the money we needed for this project. That was a ton of work.
Getting the band together, after putting that full sound together in the studio, gosh, we knew that our songs were begging for that, and so now for all of the shows we've been playing since finishing recording our full band, and that's been part of the post-op process.
There's all this like work around figuring out what our brand is, and like working out how to use Canva. Oh my God. And getting familiar with social media algorithms and working out how to make a TikTok video, and just learning from the ground up about these things. And it's so easy to consume things online and on social media, and it takes so many hours to make one thing, and then just like keeping up with how much the internet just wants to gobble you, and not losing your head about it.
from an outsider perspective, it looks like you guys nailed it, and it looks, I wouldn't say effortless, but it looks sleek and smooth and bump free.
Thank you.
I'm sure it is not. I'm sure you guys are watching and putting everything together and you're like, oh, well, what if they notice this mistake and whatnot? But from an outsider perspective, it looks so good. Your
Thank you.
website's absolutely on point. Your music videos are insanely good. Tell us a little bit about that, because one of them, Willoughby, beautiful shot, and that looks like it must have been filmed last year. And
Last September.
Last September. And then I think it's a different video where it's in your barn and it's, you know, the Cleo, I think you're in the fields planting things, and
Yeah.
drone shot of a cool Saab convertible down a country
that was
lane.
not a drone.
Wasn't a drone.
that was Macaulay Lerman. Like, I was driving the car, and he was like through the sunroof, like following Danica in the car, and like, yeah, he's amazing. He's
Macaulay
amazing.
from Box of Stars. Yeah, he's like 9 foot tall, so basically a drone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drone with legs.
The sweetest, kindest, most sensitive drone you'll ever meet. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the videos that you put out then. So I feel like we can't really talk of them as a collective. Let's go for the one with the title of the album, Lady King. And I'm picking this one intentionally because we're in it. Massive labor of love. You got a bunch of friends to send in videos of your guys' new single, Lady King. And then you spent hours putting it together. And probably watching these videos bazillion times. How did the concept come from there? And it feels very COVID-y in a way. It almost made us feel nostalgic for the COVID days. So yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
Who'd have thought? Yeah.
You know, we can really thank COVID for a lot of good ideas, you know. So the idea actually came from Megan Trainor.
Oh, no way.
Who took when she was putting out her singles, like asked a lot of content creators to just video themselves doing a dance to the song and then just like posting it on their own feeds. And I was thinking, you know, we used a huge part of our process has been involving our community. You had a huge ask for our fundraiser, and we had a lot of people support us, and as a kind of a way to include them in the final project, to have a video where we ask people to dance and get involved in it and sing along and just show up however they feel like they want to show up when they listen to the song, felt like a really wonderful way to kind of cap off this project and say, you know, like, A, thank you, and also look at you. Like you really made this. Thanks for being part of our lives, and like, you know, it was our first time doing something like that. So it was a lot of learning about, you know, like, oh, how much instruction do we really need to give people? Like what, like, oh, if we say take a video of yourself, that means something different for everybody who gets that information. So like learning how specific to be and also how we, you know, how to be flexible with, you know, what we receive. That was really cool, you know, learning that. And then, you know, putting it together. I didn't have headphones, so big shout out to Audrey Zizza for listening to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again next to me while I was making it. And also big shout out to Hannah, who found all the clips and cut them out, so I didn't have to do that labor.
I think I spent about 8 hours.
8 hours,
one
yeah.
day, just going through all of the clips and cutting like 5. It's a long song. It's like a 5.5 minute song or something. Cutting it down to like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah. Really finding like the moments.
And then
you found the moments.
Found the moments, and then my brain just said, "No more possible. No more is possible.
No more."
So I sent it to Cleo.
And I was like, okay, I have more. Yeah. And then we put it together. Yeah. Figured it out.
Most of our endeavors work with the band.
Yeah.
We go until we share the load, and that video was definitely them. But
yeah, well, the other 2 videos were like mostly Danica too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know you didn't ask about them.
Please,
but
please go talk about the other videos because they are stunning. Stunning.
I think Macaulay said like no one has ever done, what was it called? A treatment. The way Danica put this treatment together of just like the full vision, scene by scene. Separate Our Heart video had how many locations? Like four different locations.
Or I guess 6 with the laundromat and the interval.
And the outfits.
Yeah.
Hooey.
So did you put a storyboard together, Danica, and like, okay, this shot.
Yeah, it was more first. It took a while to really conceptualize like what story do we want to tell visually, and in breaking down the song, it really felt like playing with this idea of each of us going about our normal lives, doing normal activities like gardening, laundry, or driving somewhere.
Diva.
Driving somewhere in my convertible, everyday life, and just alluding to those daydreams you have, or those love stories that we just kind of play over in our heads while we're doing things, mulling over the latest chapter in the saga, or what it may be, and so just jumping back and forth from this fantasy headspace where love is beautiful in the fields, and then of course like feeling yourself and like being in these places of a disco like dance party, and bouncing back and forth was kind of the idea for that. And so it came down to breaking it down by lyrics, and really just mapping out like I want real life here and I want fantasy life here, and then deciding who would be featured for each, and then which part of the fantasy world we're gonna go to.
You guys must have sang that song on camera 10, 15, 20 times, because the video editing in it is wonderful, because almost the entire song is actually sung out by you three, but in, as you said, like 8 different locations, and I'm sure each one didn't take a single shot. So, wow, you guys must be sick of that song by this point.
Honestly, no.
Nope.
Not even a little bit.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, you can keep playing it.
We had fun with it.
There's like a take where I'm like, oh wait, I just realized what the words were, and I've been saying the wrong word this whole time. That happened with Thunder.
It's very classic.
Yeah.
And it was nice and warm in August when we recorded it, so we had a lot of fun just being outside and going to our favorite spots, like in front of the radio beam, the Interval. We were over in Moncton at the campus over there for the fields, and it really contrasted our Thunder video, where we were up against the fall air coming in swiftly up at Lake Willoughby, and fighting against some teeth chattering to get that sunset shot.
Yeah. I mean, apt considering the name of the song and everything. I feel like Nate did you a solid on that one, even if you were half frozen. We would love to hear another song. What have you got for us?
Segueing perfectly, we would love to sing Thunder.
Just make sure we're all good here.
Oh, thunder.
sun speaks her when it's time. I will rise when it's time. Oh, thunder, when I'm ready for you, I won't run, no, I won't run. Oh, thunder, when I'm ready for you, I won't run, no, I won't run. I won't run, no, I won't run. I won't run, no, I won't run.
All right, Thunder there by Honey and Soul off the new album Lady King. So tell us a little bit about the creation of the album within the studio. So you said this has been a 3-year labor of love. In that timeline, when was it that you got to the studio? How did you pick the tracks you were going to sing for this particular album?
So we had the vision in a cabin in the woods in a yurt. I'm actually not sure if it was a cabin or a yurt. It was kind of both. There was a yurt and a cabin, and we went to both of them.
It required both.
Yeah. And we had a big piece of paper, and we wrote on that paper what we wanted and what songs we wanted. And Hannah had just written Incantation, so we learned this song, this like beautiful, tender a cappella song together. We workshopped that, and then from there we just kind of grew the track list. And then it was COVID time, so when we hit the studio, was this pre-COVID? The cabin in the woods?
2020. It was 2020. So.
Okay. So then when we hit the studio, we kind of went in one by one. And, if somebody else wants to take the rest of it.
So you went to the studio in 2021. So
2020.
2020. So conceived like the track list in a yurt, of course, very on brand, by the way, for Honey and Soul to sit down in a conclave and light the white smoke when you figured out what you were gonna all have to go and do an album. And so you've been sitting on these tracks now for 3 years, or I'm guessing it took a little time to master and make sure it was completely right. But you've been basically sitting on this album for 3 years.
Yeah, and like Cleo was saying, because we were recording during COVID time, we really were trying to keep it as sparse in the studio as possible. So it was these individual sessions with every member of every guest we had in for each song, and even harmonies and vocals happened on an individual basis. So in a way, it was in our lives for a long period, but the amount of studio time that we were actually in the booth was just like normal.
Was that difficult though, because you guys are so collaborative as a group? It sounds like you do everything together from top to bottom, and so to get into the studio as individuals, was that a difficult thing to kind of have to get your head around, and how did you make up for that?
I'd say it was definitely difficult to feel that cohesion that is so important in our creation. But we were able to make up for it once we were done in the studio. We're getting those mixes back, the mastering tracks, and starting to practice with the band. A lot of the songs that are on the album have been re-envisioned to an extent that is very much just an extension of the energy we had individually in the studio that we brought together back in the room together. And so it's almost like a revitalization of a lot of the songs.
Yeah, and going back to the Incantation song, we had this idea originally of recording it outside in the woods, and we spent a day doing that, and we got like the sounds of our feet walking and the birds, and we did it at Colchester Pond. and like jumped into the water afterwards and got like that recorded. But like it just didn't end up working out. And so then we like tried to do it, or no, yeah, but it felt so important for us to be together in the studio to do that one, because it's a cappella and it's like all about our voices. So we ended up going in and re-recording that, but we're able to keep like the other sounds of like of Colchester Pond, and we actually put the jumping into the pond sounds as like an overlay of a different track. It's like a very nostalgic feeling. So I think it kind of felt really, even though at the end of our recording process we were just like ready to be done, I think it was so good and so important to be like, we've worked so long and hard on this, like we're not going to rush through any decision, and we're going to go back in and get it right and do it all together. And that felt so good to be in the same room, and I think was a learning experience also for like future recordings of how we like to do our vocals. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you've got a lot of love for this original track, this a cappella track. Do all of you have the same favorite track on the record, or do all three of you have different favorite tracks? And could you tell me your favorite track and why?
We've never talked about this. I'd be curious to hear.
Let's go from Cleo on the
Of
left.
course, yeah. Okay. So, the song that I love to show people from the album, just kidding, I haven't showed anybody at all. Okay, just kidding. I love to show Stuck in the Middle, just because it always makes me want to dance and just like, it's like, wow, this is so cool. And then I also really love, I mean, I'm just like so glad that Lady King's out because I love Lady King. But I think that one that I just always go, that just kind of feels like it always fits a mood is Violet Undertone. It's like it's like feels really just easy to like. Yeah. And a little like, I feel like we don't generally like, it wasn't one of our singles. It's kind of like it feels like really easy to overlook in a way, but I kind of like that about it.
Danica, your favorite song from the album?
I think my favorite song would have to be the track called Once. It deals with grief, and it's very it really brought me through a healing journey of grief, just by learning it, loving it, recording it, all the parts, and every time we sing it, you know, I just get to belt at the top of my lungs, and it feels like, gosh, what a privilege to have such a raw emotion that I get to share in a space that feels really supported.
Yeah, it just resonates in like your heartstrings.
And I think the key that it's in really resonates in my body in a good way.
And Hannah, how about you? What's your? Hannah, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you write the entire album? So this is a very interesting question.
I
These
know.
are rolling away your babies.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. It feels like choosing a child. But, you know, I don't know. I haven't really been in like a favorite finding mind around them. But I think maybe the final track on the album is called Home. And I think I'm gonna say, I don't think it's my favorite song. Like, I really don't even know. Like, I just love so much about each of them. But that one is such a journey through the song. And I love what we did with it. I feel so proud of how we ended the album. And just like moving through, like, I don't know what to give away or not, but it like moves through. I had this, like, as I was writing it, I had like a string section in my head at the end. I don't play strings and I don't even know, but like I heard it and I figured out like the melody on the guitar and taught it to them, and they made it happen, which is like one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life. And to move through that like super tender emotional song for me that's like all about like this really deep relationship coming to an end and like finding home, like re-understanding what home is, that concept, and finding it in other people, like wanting so deeply to find it in myself, and moving through this process into this like incredible string section that like just transports me out of the album, and then you're just like in the woods. And in my mind, I mean, you'll hear it, but just as a little sneak peek, in my mind, it's like there's this organ in the middle of the woods. It's like you leave like the church or wherever you're in this like holy place of these beautiful strings, and you walk in through the woods, and all of a sudden there's like an organ playing like in the middle of the woods. And then we have a number of interludes throughout the album. So it ends with like one of Danica's close people talking, just sharing some really, really beautiful insights, and it's just like so special. So yeah, I think that's my favorite part.
It sounds like this song in particular was almost closure, not just with the album itself, but also your own personal relationships and the way that you kind of ended up navigating to this final, I wouldn't say final resting place, but this milestone, this break spot, this clearing in the woods for yourself.
Well said.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I don't know if you're just going to be playing it tonight. Maybe we'll have to wait till the album release party.
Yeah.
You gonna wait?
Yeah, we're gonna keep you on your toes.
All right.
Yeah, but you'll hear it in 2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
Well, we would like to hear another song, if not Home, something else. So what have you got for us?
The next song is going to be a non-album song, non-singles that has already released. It's called I Deserve Pleasure Every Time of the Day.
Right.
I love when you say it.
And your little smile.
Next time you should say it. I'm always the one that says it. It's so good to hear other people say those words. All right. I plant flowers for you every spring, and I can't forget the way you sing. And I'm moving forward slowly. Every step is holy. I make space for grief, sweet relief, and another morning comes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just wanna tell you that I know just how to push your button on my jacket in the winter. I am cold, can't get no loving.
learn every time of the day.
Yeah, you do.
I can't wait to record that one.
Thank you, Hannah. I think so too. So obviously the album release and getting all this together has been majorly top of mind, but you guys have been doing other projects outside of Honey and Soul. One that comes very much to mind is, Hannah, what you put on at the Radio Bean on Valentine's Day, which was a hoot and a holler.
Oh my god, that was so fun.
Tell us a little bit about that, because all three of you are involved. I know, Hannah, you were kind of the talisman, the idea person behind the whole thing, but yeah, it was great. Tell us a little bit
She
about
was the whole thing.
it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I went through a breakup in the fall, and I came out of that just being like a little like, I wanna just like sing the sexiest songs ever in front of a stage, like on a stage with like a whole band of people behind me, and everyone just being like, oh, you're so sexy, like, yeah. And so I just came up with this idea of being Sugar Mom and the mom, and having the Mama's Boys behind me, Sugar Mom and the Mama's Boys. And oh my God, it was so much work. And I like had this great idea, and I was like, I'll do it on Valentine's Day. It'll be like so fun. Like, I don't know how many months later that would have been, like 4 months later. Sounded great, and then it was time to do it, and I was like, oh my God, like this is so much work to put. Like there were 7 people in the band, and I don't know if you ever tried getting like more than 2 musicians in the same room at the same time. We didn't have we had only 2 rehearsals, and not one of them, everyone could be there. So it was great, but everyone in that band was amazing, and I just wanted to do like all of my favorite songs that made me feel like really good. And I wanted to bring Cleo and Danica in, and we've always, like, in the spare time that we don't have, like, want to do a Spice Girls cover band. So it was like an opportunity to kind of make dreams come true in all areas.
Yeah, I know you pulled it off so well. And again, I think it might be a bit like releasing this album where you probably put in a ton of work and you feel like, you know, it's really difficult to get everyone in the same room and, you know, trying to get all the pieces together, but then you pull it off without a hitch. It was an absolute amazing gig. Danica, I remember very seared into my memory as you standing at the bar and then coming onto the stage. It was such a
Oh my God,
such
I
a
love
great
it.
kind of moment. And then Hannah, you coming through the crowd as well, feather boa, and yeah.
That was so good.
That entrance was part of the conception of like the whole, like it came the day, like the moment I had the idea, I was like, and I will be doing, what was that song? Can't Take My Eyes Off You, as I will be entering from, like, there will be like, at the radio being like, spotlight on me, like, how in the world? But thankfully, like, Lee's in the business of making dreams come true, and I just asked a bunch of people to, like, put their flashlights on me.
It certainly worked. And we've not got too much time left, but I want you to speak a little bit about this album release party. So the album's coming out Friday. Album release party at the Old North End Community Centre a week on Friday. Mm-hmm. You guys are not in the habit of doing things half-assed. So can you give us a little bit of a preview what has been prepared for this event a week on Friday?
Well, this is, I know that the Old North End Community Center on Allen Street is looking forward to this because it's their first like, you know,
it's like their debutante ball.
yeah, it's their debutante ball, exactly, and we get to be les debutantes.
Oh,
and right now it's got this awesome like cafeteria high school prom vibe, and we're only trying to enhance that. We're going DIY decor, lots of soft lighting, lots of great sounds, and lots of gorgeous double vinyl records for everyone to purchase, to bring home with them, that are hot off the press, literally on the block, and it's gonna be beautiful. We have an opening set by the very fabulous
Addie Herbert. Yeah, she's incredible. If you haven't heard her, you will have to come and hear her. Yeah.
I feel like we should be going in like sock hop get up, 1950s.
Honestly,
high school
yes,
kind of
you should.
style.
The visions are feeling a little more 80s.
Okay, we can do 80s. In
Big
fact,
blush.
Annie is like, that's her decade.
Awesome.
You should see how much leopard print fur we have.
Yeah, leopard print.
It's
Great.
incredible.
Yeah, bring it.
But
Yeah,
really,
definitely. Cheetah girls.
It doesn't matter what decade you feel closest to. Just come on down. It's gonna be a beautiful night. It's gonna be a celebration of all of this coming together with the full band, and we are just so excited to. During rehearsals, we've been playing the album set through, and we've got a couple other surprises at the end. But it feels so good to perform it live and just in rehearsal. So we can only expect how good it's gonna feel next Friday.
Well, that's exciting. And so people know, how do you get tickets? And then also, how do you get your people's grubby little mitts onto your album?
I love that.
Well, you can. So Waking Windows is producing the show, so you can get tickets through their website. They're $15 before the show, but the day of they're gonna be $20. So get them now, or get them later and pay more, whatever.
It all goes directly to the album. Just
Well,
no, actually,
no,
it
but
doesn't.
Not
No.
at all.
Not at
but
all.
we liked to say that when things were going there.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do that anymore.
But and then we're gonna be selling it at the show, and also like if you don't want to buy the vinyl, we have the album to stream like everywhere that you stream music and Bandcamp.
The thing we're excited about with the vinyl is that it's a companion to bring home to follow along with the lyrics. I get the privilege of learning the words of these songs by playing them, but it's such a journey to really just get wrapped up in the sounds and having those words. It's a very satisfying experience, and I'm just excited for everyone to be able to share that as well.
And get to look at Danica's incredible artwork, album artwork, just fabulous, beautiful design. And what she's referring to is that the album opens up and I like scribbled all the lyrics down as fast as possible to get it in the last second. So there's lots of crossing outs, but it's very like true to form, very real, very raw. So, yeah.
I'm sure based on everything else that you create and produce, it is going to be impeccable and with immaculate vibes. Really looking forward to it. So yeah, if folks want to learn more, you guys do have a website. Is that just honeyandsoul.com?
honeyandsoulmusic.com.
honeyandsoulmusic.com. I would also wholeheartedly recommend you follow them on Instagram, which is at
Honey and Soul Music.
Honey and Soul Music.
Yeah.
Again, impeccable vibes. Well, we've got about time for one more song, so what have we got to close out with?
Well, thank you so much for having us. We're going to play Lady King. Yeah.
Right.
Hijacked by the bloody night, I reach out for your
playing us out with a title track from their new album, Lady King. So great to have you guys in. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us.
I'm very
Thank
much
you for
looking
having
forward
us.
to seeing you next week. And best of luck with the album release.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got time for this evening. Next week, join us. We've got So-and-So's playing. But for tonight, that has been everything. This has been WOMMLP operating out Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. It's been The Rocket Shop. I've been your host, Tom Proctor, and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was fun.